I don't think people understand just how deadly winter can be on the battlefield. Before we dive in, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends to help us bring you more great content. During World War II, a silent enemy claimed more soldiers than bullets: the cold. On the Eastern Front, the German Sixth Army lost over 100,000 men to severe cold injuries in a single winter. Frostbite turned feet black and useless, defeating men who had survived combat. Soviet and American soldiers suffered similarly, as standard equipment failed against the relentless cold. The frozen ground acted like a vast block of ice, pulling warmth from their bodies. In some battles, frostbite and trench-foot outnumbered combat wounds. The lesson was clear. Even the most powerful armies can be undone by a basic misunderstanding of nature. The true enemy wasn't just the cold air, it was the ground beneath their feet, stealing heat through conduction. Survival depended on understanding this principle. Technology and gear alone weren't enough. Adaptation and knowledge were key. Soldiers who learned to work with the laws of heat and insulation, not just against the cold, survived. Their hard-won wisdom is still relevant for anyone facing winter's dangers. The earth itself can be your greatest foe if you don't respect its power to sap your warmth. The story of these campaigns is a timeless warning. Nature's rules always win. Remember, survival is about working smart, not just being tough. We bundle up against the cold air, but the real danger lies beneath our feet. The ground is a massive reservoir of cold, constantly pulling heat from anything it touches. Even the warmest coat can't protect you if your feet are losing heat to the frozen earth. The soles of your boots compress under your weight, reducing insulation right where you need it most. Moisture from sweat makes things worse. Damp socks conduct heat away rapidly. This is why your feet are often the first to freeze, even inexpensive boots. The battle for warmth is not just against the air, but against the ground. Every step on snow or frozen earth is a fight to keep your body's heat. Winning means breaking the chain of conduction. It's not about thicker socks. It's about stopping heat loss through your soles. Ignore this, and you risk repeating history's mistakes. Soldiers couldn't change their boots or the weather, so they improvised. The breakthrough wasn't more insulation inside the sock, but an extra layer between sock and boot insole. This layer acted as a vapor barrier, keeping the boot's insulation dry and effective. A dry boot is a warm boot. A damp one becomes a freezer. The added layer also disrupted conduction, breaking the direct path for heat loss. Materials were simple: cardboard, newspaper, felt, whatever was available. These humble barriers kept feet dry and insulated, succeeding where standard gear failed. The trick was logical, accessible, and required only knowledge, not new equipment. Passed from veteran to rookie, it saved countless lives. It's a perfect example of simple ingenuity overcoming adversity. The lesson: sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. Don't underestimate the power of a well-placed barrier. It's a trick that still works today. Different armies found their own materials for this life-saving trick. Finnish soldiers used birch bark, water-resistant and insulating, borrowed from indigenous Sami wisdom. Soviets used folded newspaper to absorb sweat and keep boots dry, replacing it daily. Germans stuffed boots with straw or felt, creating thick, insulating barriers. American GIs prized cardboard from ration boxes for its stiffness and insulation. The principle was always the same: create a non-compressible, moisture-resistant barrier between foot and sole. Whether birch bark, newspaper, straw or cardboard, the logic was universal. These improvisations were born of necessity but grounded in survival science. Soldiers everywhere learned, beat the ground and you beat the cold. The solution was simple, but it saved lives. Modern boots boast high-tech materials, but the laws of physics haven't changed. Even the best boots can fail when insulation compresses under your weight. Gore-Tex and Thinsulate help, but moisture and conduction remain threats. In extreme cold, sweat can freeze inside the boot, blocking breathability. The old logic still holds: add a simple barrier to boost warmth. Today, a thin piece of closed-cell foam is ideal: waterproof, uncrushable and insulating. Cut it to fit your boot, and you have a modern version of the soldier's trick. This small addition can make the difference between comfort and misery. It's cheap, light and effective. For anyone outdoors in winter, this is essential knowledge. The problem is conduction. The solution is a barrier. Sometimes the simplest fix is still the best. The same logic applies to sleeping and shelter. Even the best sleeping bag fails if you lie directly on snow. The ground will steal your heat. A sleeping mat is your most important winter sleep gear, creating a barrier against conduction. Closed-cell foam or quality inflatable mats are best. Experienced campers use 2 mats for extra protection. In snow shelters, always build a raised sleeping platform. Cold air sinks, so sleep above the floor. Insulate the platform with spruce boughs or similar materials to trap air and block the cold. Never sleep or sit directly on the ground. Always create a thick, uncompressed layer beneath you. This is the shelter equivalent of straw in your boots. The principle is universal. Insulate from the ground up. Respect the ground's power to sap your warmth. It's the difference between a safe night and a dangerous one. Technology tempts us to believe we're safe, but knowledge is the true survival tool. The old ways endure because they work. Simple logic, humble materials, and a clear understanding of nature's rules. Soldiers in WWII survived not with gadgets, but with bark, newspaper and straw. They knew the real enemy was the ground, not just the air. This wisdom is just as vital today. Before your next winter outing, think like a soldier. How will you stop the ground from stealing your heat? Pack a foam square for your boots. Choose your sleeping mat wisely and never sit directly on snow. Every action should create a barrier between you and the earth. Survival isn't about gear. It's about logic and observation. The lessons from frozen battlefields are a gift. The simplest tools are often the most powerful. True preparedness is carried in your mind, not just your pack. In winter's quiet cold, it's the old wisdom that keeps you warm. Remember, work with nature's rules, and you'll always have the advantage.